Accomplishment, the successful achievement of a task. Task is the focal point, meaning to physically do and complete something. I imagine that's what you thought of as you heard the word accomplishment. Do not worry, you're in the majority. Most people tend to view an accomplishment as a win the race, receive an award type of phenomenon, right? And this is a materialistic award after successfully succeeding at a task. As those are fantastic successes in life, those that are materialistic, the term accomplishment stems from something much deeper to me. The event that has redefined my person stems from a mentally abusive relationship whereby a singular human being gained access to my innermost psyche and completely altered who I was when I was only 15 years old. At first, it was absolutely perfect. And as cliche as it sounds, it seemed to truly be just that, perfect. It was like a young girl who had somehow gained access to a portal that allowed them to be transported into their favorite Disney princess movie. It was exactly a fantasy land. And that's all it was. It was just a temporary fantasy. Prior to encountering this boy, I already had minimal confidence. Therefore, I was already vulnerable to manipulation. He had made my thoughts about myself increasingly higher, making it believable that I was the most beautiful girl on earth. He would say, "I'm going to tell you that you are beautiful every day until you truly believe that you are beautiful." That is exactly what he did, thus, ironically, I didn't know then what that actually meant. Through these small strategies in the beginning that seemed to be completely harmless, he was able to gain my full trust by building up my self-esteem brick by brick until he had built a house that was about to come crashing down. At this point, we are now half of a year into the relationship, in which now I am halfway down that manipulative spiral of a rabbit hole that I did not realize. I went from daily insecurities when I put my makeup on to wearing no makeup, never fixing my hair, and never dressing up. I appeared at my very worst daily, to put it simply. And the irony of it all is that I didn't aspire to whatsoever. Basically, he manipulated me by not telling me, hey, don't do this. Because what is somebody going to do if you say, don't do that? They're going to want to do it even more. What he did to manipulate me was he made me genuinely not want to do the things that I like to do. So therefore, he wins. The unfortunate part about it is I didn't even realize that I was becoming someone else, because as this manipulative strategy, he would tell me, makeup, you're beautiful without it. And I thought to myself, as long as he thinks that I'm beautiful, that's all that matters. And these things do seem very kind, so at the beginning, somebody wouldn't realize that this was manipulation, because it just seems everyday compliments, especially coming from your boyfriend. And as I later realized, they were just another one of his insecure ways to ultimately strip me of my identity to match his insecure mind. He never thought that he would be good enough for me. He was jealous of who I was and everything that I had. He wanted me all to himself, and by this point, it did not matter to me what my appearance was in the mirror. It did not matter to me what I looked like. I was now at the bottom of the rabbit hole. Now I am at the lowest point in the abuse. I have fallen down what I describe as a mental spiral in which there is no escape. I am in what physically feels like a box trapped inside my own mind. And the worst part is, you're truly alone. No one understands you. To the public, you're just a teenager in a high school relationship and you'll get over it. It's not taken seriously, especially since I was only 15. Friends don't understand because the majority of the time, relationships in this degree do not normally occur at this age. Most boys at this age are concerned about sports or flirting around with girls in the hallway, not to take advantage of somebody's mind and drag them down to their lowest. I remember looking in the mirror one day and only seeing a skeleton, a rough draft, only the wooden frame of a house of who I truly was, stripped of all outside beauty and accessories. It felt like an internal version of a Holocaust victim, that instead of raw and skinny from the outside looking in, I was only a fraction of who I was from the inside out. This is when one of my first thoughts sparked the question, who are you? At this point, you were probably wondering how I reached that big realization moment. Ironically, though, it wasn't that simple. As I would love to say, after everything he did and said to me, the foul language, the name-calling, mocking my insecurities, the mental abuse itself, and the lowest degree of cheating possible, that I did not go back to him numerous times. It was not as simple as to just leave him. People do not understand because they think, why does she put up with being treated like this? And to attempt to make it understandable, he had made himself my security blanket. He made himself the only person that I could consult and the only person I could go to. And therefore, I felt like I was alone and no one else would help me. He made me believe everyone else was crazy but him. Everyone else had all of these crazy ideas. Everyone else was doing this to me. And so therefore, it reinforces the fact that he was the only person that I had. He made himself my security blanket and the only person I could consult until I realized I did not actually know him. So, I started thinking to myself, if he's doing all these terrible things to me, then I couldn't believe a word he said. I saw him as a stranger because the person that I fell in love with was not this terrible person. He is my enemy because if he could do this to me, how could you do this to somebody that you don't even know? How could you do this to a stranger? So let alone, how could he love me if he did this to someone he claimed he loved? And I knew I loved him, and therefore there was no way that he could possibly do something like that to me because I could never do something like that to him. I've learned so many life lessons from this experience that will continue to stick with me through the future. Because of this, my eyes are open. I am more aware of people's intentions, positive and negative. I will never let anyone take advantage of me again. Also, I am myself, and I will never change for anyone else. Now, because of this, I have a positive and healthy mindset on my self-image and my confidence, which I am very proud of because I've been through quite a lot to get me here. Currently, in my eyes, the mirror and my confidence are two separate entities. When I look into the mirror, I can say to myself truly whether I think I look a certain way, and appearance does not even matter to me. It does not even correlate to my appearance. My confidence does not even correlate to what I look like in the mirror. Without a mirror, I know I am truly myself and I am confident. This experience is what I define as my greatest accomplishment. I am proud for realizing what was happening to me and overcoming it. Because of this, my eyes are open, This singular human being redefined who I was when I was only 15 years old, but overcoming it has been the greatest impact of my life thus far. Accomplishment, the successful achievement of a task. Even though the definition of task may mean to physically do and complete something, I know the feeling of receiving accolades. However, something which offers internal growth is far more rewarding. If I can overcome this, I can overcome anything. And as long as I know this about myself, all things will be an accomplishment. What is your definition of accomplishment?